All right, so Google just dropped Gemma 4, and we're talking about 4 new models that are absolutely packed with multimodality, thinking, function calling, you name it. Now that right there is big news, for sure. But honestly, that's not even the most exciting part of this whole story.
You see, the biggest news, the thing that's a real game changer with Gemma 4, is the license. For the very first time, Google is shipping its best open models under a true Apache 2.0 license. No custom terms, no weird restrictive clauses. This is a massive shift in how developers get to use Google's tech. So yeah, let's dive right into this, because a license might sound boring, but trust me, this is about way more than just legal jargon. This is about unlocking serious commercial potential for everyone.
Now, just look at the difference here. Previously with Gemma 3, a lot of developers were, well, pretty frustrated. You had this really capable model, but it was all wrapped up in a custom license that basically had these "don't compete with us" clauses. It made a ton of independent software vendors and businesses just back away. Frankly, a lot of people just chose to go with Llama or Mistral instead. But with Gemma 4, that's all gone. The Apache 2.0 license means you can modify it, fine-tune it, and deploy these models commercially. Do whatever you want with them, no strings attached. For anyone trying to build a business on top of AI, this is the green light you've been waiting for.
All right, so now that we've covered the license, which is huge, let's get into the models themselves. What Google did here is really smart. They've split them into 2 distinct tiers, so you can pick the exact right tool for the job you're doing.
So on one side, you've got the heavy hitters, the Workstation models. There's a powerful 31 billion parameter dense model and a super efficient 26 billion parameter mixture of experts model. And then on the other side, you've got the edge models, the tiny E4B and E2B, which are designed to run on things like phones, Raspberry Pis, all those small devices.
These Workstation models are absolute powerhouses. I mean, that 256,000 token context window is massive. It means they can understand incredibly long documents or keep track of a really complex conversation. And the fact that they can natively process images of any aspect ratio makes them perfect for stuff like document understanding. For a developer, this is your dream local IDE copilot, or the powerful backend you need for a big multi-user app.
Okay, now let's talk about the edge models, because this is where things get really cool for on-device AI. And these aren't just watered-down versions of the big models, they are completely redesigned from the ground up for pure performance and efficiency.
Just get a load of this. The audio encoder, that's the part that handles speech recognition, is 50% smaller than the last generation. They literally slashed its parameter count from over 680 million down to just 305 million. That is a huge, huge optimization.
And here's what that actually means in the real world. That massive size reduction means the entire audio encoder now takes up only 87 megabytes on disk. That is tiny. It makes it absolutely perfect for deploying on devices where every single megabyte counts.
So why does all this matter? Well, it all comes down to the user experience. The frame duration has been cut from 160 milliseconds down to just 40. This means you get incredibly low latency, super responsive, real-time transcription. It's exactly what you need for a voice-first AI assistant that actually feels instant.
Okay, so here's another major leap forward with Gemma 4. It isn't just a text model that you have to attach other things to. It's an all-in-one toolkit where all the key features are built in from the ground up, not just, bolted on after the fact.
The whole model family was designed with these features baked in at the architectural level. That means the long chain of thought reasoning, the vision and audio inputs, and the function calling, it all just works together seamlessly as one cohesive system.
And let's just talk about function calling for a second. The old way was all about coaxing a model with these super complex prompts, basically just crossing your fingers and hoping it would do what you asked. Gemma 4, on the other hand, has function calling baked right in, and it's optimized for multi-turn, multi-tool agentic workflows. This makes building reliable AI agents so much easier.
So with all these incredible new powers, you might be thinking, okay, this has got to be complicated to use, right? But nope, Google has actually made it incredibly simple and accessible for developers to get started.
You want the model to use its advanced, long chain of thought reasoning to really think through a problem? You just pass a single parameter. Enable thinking equals true. That's it. You've just unlocked a more powerful mode to get way better, more well-reasoned answers. It's that simple.
And what about vision? It's pretty much the same story. You just process your image and append the image token right into your messages. This removes a massive barrier for any developer who's been wanting to build multimodal applications but found it too complicated before.
And the result you get is just fantastic. You give it an image like this and ask what's happening, and it doesn't just say it's a girl and a dog. No, it gives you this rich contextual breakdown, understanding the emotion and the actual interaction happening in the scene.
Now let's talk deployment, because this is critical for any commercial project. You can run even the large workstation models on Google Cloud Run in a completely serverless way. This means you get access to really powerful GPUs when you need them, but the service can spin all the way down to zero cost when it's not being used. It's basically affordable power on demand.
So when you start to put all of this together, the open license, the powerful and efficient models, the native capabilities, and the easy deployment, it really does feel like we're stepping into a new era for OpenAI.
So let's just recap the key takeaways here. First off, you have total commercial freedom thanks to that Apache 2.0 license. Second, you get to choose the perfectly tailored model for whatever you're building, from a giant workstation model to a tiny one for the edge. Third, the integrated toolkit makes building complex, multimodal agents way simpler than before. And finally, you can actually deploy this stuff in a way that's both powerful and affordable.
Look, this release puts an incredible amount of power directly into the hands of developers, with far fewer restrictions than we've ever seen from Google before. So I guess the only question left is this. With Google's best models now truly open, what are you going to build?